Hello and welcome to another daily devotion. As this week in Lent we talk about places in Scripture that lead to reflection, either for the characters within them or for us, or as it turns out, maybe for both. There's a Scripture passage in 1 Kings that I find one of the most reflective in all the Bible. It's about a fiery character, Elijah the prophet, who's called to challenge the king and queen of Israel for their corruption. They're taking advantage of people. They're worshiping false gods. And basically Jezebel kind of wears the pants in the family. Ahab is depicted as kind of this henpecked, browbeaten husband who does everything his wife asks him to. And most times he does some really terrible things because Jezebel, and you may have heard, lots of songs referring to Jezebel or her depicted in art, being kind of a cruel and ruthless woman. Maybe tough to be married to. Anyway, she tells Elijah the prophet after this showdown with the king, this confrontation that he has, if you're not dead by tomorrow, may the gods punish me and make me dead. In other words, the queen has told Elijah, you're persona non grata, and you're not going to be breathing tomorrow. So Elijah runs. And I think about all the times in my life where we've been running, or your life, where we've been running and we're not finding God. We're asking and seeking God. Elijah, that very famous idea, he's laying beneath the broom tree, the ravens come and feed him. Then he goes 40 days and 40 nights, very biblical, just like Moses and the people in the wilderness. He goes to the mountain where God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, looking for God, the mountain of God. Where else are you going to find God except for the mountain of God, right? So it strikes me that Elijah's thinking, it worked for Moses. Moses showed up, or God was there, and God, gave Moses the commandments, and there was this close connection with God. And as Elijah's kind of at rock bottom, he's like, nothing else is working. So God, if you're there, just take my life anyway, because everything around me stinks. It's terrible. I'm the only prophet left. Nobody's listening anyway. And this is where it kind of really hits me. Have you ever had that moment in your life where you're thinking, I'm doing everything I can to be what Christ wants me to be a light, to be a witness to God in the world. And it just seems like nobody gives a darn. Like people just do whatever they want. Ever feel like the world is more dark than light? And you believe that God answers prayers. You believe that there's angelic messengers. You believe Christ is Lord of your life. But the evidence of it in day-to-day living, on the TV, on the internet, amongst your friends that are, getting divorced or separating or cheating on their spouses or cheating on their taxes or doing whatever. And in the very humanness of it, the very brokenness of it, you just say, God, I feel like I'm the only one left. Will you answer me? It's almost a Job-like moment, except Elijah's not angry. He's depressed. He feels like, I'm doing all this, and I'm overwhelmed. I'm at a breaking point. Elijah's basically having a nervous breakdown as a prophet. Today we, send him to a counselor and give him a bunch of pills. But then, all he's got is his silence. And the scripture is unclear. If God answers him in a still small voice, as we sometimes say, but it could also mean there is no answer. God is quiet. And in that moment, Elijah realizes that his chapter of being a prophet is done. He's not able to do this anymore. God tells him, anoint somebody else. They're going to take the mantle from you. They're going to take the ball and run now because you've done what I've asked you to do, but now you're burnt out. You're used up. You need some rest. So as we reflect on this, I just wonder how many of us have been up against it and thought, I just feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. Where's this going, God? Am I really doing what you want me to do? Is anybody really paying any attention? And yet in the same light, Elijah keeps doing it. Keeps seeking God. I hope this is giving you some food for thought during this pandemic time where so much has been a moving part, right? And this Lent, as you try to sort yourself out with God, with your neighbors, with who Christ calls us to be,